Hello and welcome to Men's Community Connect. Thank you, Joey and Aaron, for having me. I'm really happy to be here today. Last time we spoke about a rather depressing topic, let's call it, domestic violence. But today we're going to talk about another issue that we're facing in our community, which is the mature aging population and some of the difficulties that they have, some of the stuff that we kind of need to look at, and obviously some services available that are out there. So the mature age population have age-related disabilities. You might be looking at retirement. What does retirement look like? What kind of support is going to be available to you? And there's some quite alarming statistics around the fact that the suicide rate for mature age men is 3 times that higher of mature age women. So what does this mean for us? And, what does it mean for community action that's required? And I think we can really look towards the US because they're starting to really focus on support networks, especially for LGBT aging populations, which I think is definitely necessary. The thing is that we went through an AIDS epidemic, which meant that a lot of people sold businesses. They never bought houses. They might be suffering from poverty rates that no one really talks about. So what's out there, and how do you get access to support when you are looking at retirement? So as we have started to notice, the population is aging. There are more and more elderly people now, and we haven't had this before. This is something completely new to us. Relationships look really different these days. So people used to get married and they would stay married until they retired, settled down, and eventually move on. So the fact that relationships are changing now means that we need to look at the kind of support networks out there for mature people at a different kind of angle. And what they're doing in the US is they're looking at how does the aging services adapt to how these are changing. In particular, LGBT people, and when they reach retirement, they can no longer live in their own homes. And are there retirement places where they could feel comfortable? And would they feel comfortable even accessing services like that? On top of identifying these weaknesses in the community development side of things, we also have issues such as elder abuse, which is, we've seen it all in the news, and it's very rampant. But also developing age-related disabilities, and whether or not the services are going to be able to keep up with the rise in aging populations. So what do we do? Like, what can you and I do? And, have you been thinking about what life looks like further down the track? There are things like the MENS Shed, which do some great work with maturing men, specifically around hands-on stuff like arts and crafts, woodwork, and also getting out in the community, which are really great. And I'll actually post some links because there's usually a MENS Shed in everyone's area. ACON have a really great program where they get together and they actually make the safe sex packs, which we all know about. There's also like a men's line, which you can get access to counselling services. But I think we definitely need more. We need more people just creating small spaces for men to get together, chat, have a cup of coffee, share a biscuit. Like, I think small things like this will make a huge difference and help the community deal with the rise in the aging population. Me, myself, and reflecting on how I think or see myself growing older, I'm constantly thinking about it. Like, what does life look like when I can no longer work? I think about the fact that I haven't yet had children. I'm not saying I won't, but, can I rely on support from my family? And I do have a lot of my friends are much older than me, and I find that really comforting. I like to learn from experiences, hear all sorts of stories, but I also see disrespect in the community. Like, I've noticed that we, I can't speak for everyone, but the way we treat people, because of the fact that they're slightly older than us, and there is a lot of discrimination, I feel. And how will I cope with that? Like, or can we change that so that as we do grow older, we can come together and just be respectful of each other. So getting a little more personal now and reflecting on my opinions and what I see going on within the community. And I like going out to clubs per se. Like 1 minute you're being respectful, you're young, you're walking in, all the eyes turn on you. Not me personally, but I see it. And then once you hit a certain age, people just they stop looking, or they treat you differently, and you sort of have to navigate which clubs you go to. You know, why are leather bars or other sorts of bars more accepting of older populations? And that's one of the questions we have to ask. I personally have reflected on the fact that I haven't had children, and you know, what does that mean for me as I grow older? Like, who do I leave my stuff to? Like, all this stuff is questions that even me as a younger person have definitely thought about, and are concerned about how can we kind of change this and create community support in that area. The dating scene, like why all of a sudden, once you hit a certain age, are you referred to as a daddy? Like, is that some sort of issue that we need to discuss? Some people love it, some people hate it. I personally surround myself with people that are older than myself because I love the experience and the stories they have to share, and I just think that like it should be valued more. How do we kind of bridge the age gap and start showing a little bit more respect and cherishing people's lived experiences? Because the older generations have lived through things that personally myself may never experience, and I think it's our duty to learn and to cherish that experience. So how do we determine age? What is older to you? Because I remember being 16 and thinking that people who were going out clubbing were old. They were, I mean, I wanted to get there, but when I got there, then the people who were 30s and 40s were old to me. I also know people in their 50s who feel and look and act like they are in their 20s. So why do we put these assumptions on people based on age? At the end of the day, it really is just a number. So we've covered a lot today, and we've spoken about the prejudices that we put on people based on age. We also covered men's services that are out there. There are a lot if you know how to look for them. But how can we get creative? Think about creating an online group. Check on your neighbours, like create a little walking group. Think about what's available in your local area and how you can do something small to make people feel connected again. So this has been Men's Community Connect. I've really enjoyed being here today. Thanks, Aaron and Joey, for putting this all together. See you next time.